Hi, voters. I'm Carly from Ballotpedia, and today we're taking a look at an important aspect of the 2026 election cycle, gubernatorial elections. Governors play a key role in shaping election administration, budgeting, public health policy, and how states interact with the federal government. That's why Ballotpedia tracks these races so closely, and we hope you will too. As important as 2026 congressional elections are for national politics, about 80% of the races voters will decide this year and every year are actually for state and local offices. Here's a fun fact for you. We have 520,000 elected officials in America, and less than 1% of them are at the federal level. Ballotpedia is the digital encyclopedia of American politics and the nation's premier resource for unbiased information on elections, politics, and public policy. Now, let's break down a few of the 2026 gubernatorial elections to watch and why. Out of the 36 gubernatorial contests in 2026, 15 of them have term limited incumbents, 6 Democrats and 9 Republicans. And this creates a uniquely fluid and competitive political environment. In California, Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom is term limited and cannot run again. That's opened the door to a long list of high profile contenders looking to lead the nation's most populous state. California's top 2 primary system adds another layer of uncertainty. Because all candidates run on the same primary ballot, it's possible, though rare, that the general election could feature 2 candidates from the same party. Colorado Democratic Governor Jared Polis is also term limited. Though it's been a solid Democratic trifecta in this decade, Colorado spent most of the 2010s as a divided government. In Florida, Republican Governor Ron DeSantis is term limited and cannot run again. He first won this office in 2018. Heading into the 2026 elections, Florida has a Republican trifecta, meaning Republicans control both the governorship and legislative chambers. Florida's last Democratic governor was Kenneth H. McKay, who left office in 1999. Georgia Republican Governor Brian Kemp is term limited, setting up a wide open race. Georgia has emerged as a major battleground at the presidential and U.S. Senate levels, and this governor's race could offer more clues about where the state is headed politically. Michigan Democratic Governor Gretchen Whitmer and Oklahoma Republican Governor Kevin Stitt are also both term limited. Michigan has long been a swing state with close races up and down the ballot. Contrastingly, Oklahoma is solidly Republican, which means the GOP primary is likely to determine who becomes the next governor. There are several additional races that could also prove influential. In Minnesota, Democratic Governor Tim Walz is not seeking re-election. The state has been closely contested in recent cycles and has drawn national attention over immigration enforcement and public safety debates. In Rhode Island, Democratic Governor Daniel McKee is facing a rematch with Democratic candidate Helena Foulkes. In the 2022 Democratic primary, McKee defeated Foulkes 32.8% to 29.9% in a crowded 5-way contest, setting the stage for another closely watched race. South Dakota Republican Governor Larry Roden is running against U.S. Representative Dusty Johnson in the GOP primary. Roden assumed office in January 2025 after former Governor Kristi Noem was confirmed as Secretary of Homeland Security. And finally, in Wisconsin, Democratic Governor Tony Evers is not seeking re-election. That creates an open seat contest in another perennial battleground state, one where the margins are often razor thin. What we've covered here is not the final list of 2026 gubernatorial races to watch. Candidate fields will change, political dynamics will shift, and new issues will shape these campaigns over the coming months. But taken together, these races highlight why governors play such a central role in American politics, from shaping state policy to influencing national outcomes. Ballotpedia is tracking all 36 gubernatorial elections in 2026, along with candidate filings, primary results, political positions, and historical context. If you're interested in nonpartisan, fact-based coverage of elections, politics, and public policy, be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. For full gubernatorial election coverage, including race updates and analysis, visit ballotpedia.org. And one more thing. The word gubernatorial comes from the Latin gubernator, which means helmsman, the person steering the ship. In 2026, voters across the country will decide who's at the wheel in their states. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.